Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the source material and really get into the thinking behind the headlines.
And today's story is, well, it's pretty remarkable. We're looking at Toby Brown. He's the 16-year-old founder behind the AI platform Beam.
Yeah, this one really redefines fast track.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. He founded an AI company, landed a $1 million investment from Silicon Valley.
And specifically from South Park Commons, which has some serious early Facebook connections.
Right, and he managed all of this before he even finished his high school exams.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is. So our goal here isn't just listing facts. We're digging into the sources to understand, the foundation, the philosophy.
Exactly. What drove this incredibly rapid rise? And importantly, what can you, listening right now, take away from his very unique approach?
And the company at the center of this is Beam. It's an AI platform, but the core idea is pretty ambitious. It's about fundamentally changing how we interact with tech, with AI.
Moving beyond just typing prompts into a chat box.
Precisely. Trying to get past interfaces that he points out were designed back in, the 1980s. Making AI proactive, not just reactive.
Okay, so to really grasp how someone gets this kind of momentum, basically before they can legally drive in some places, we need to go back. Way back.
We do. The sources point to age 7, which, is usually an age for Lego, maybe, not coding.
So what was the spark? What pushed him onto this technical path so incredibly early?
Well, it seems like he had this innate technical curiosity. The sources say instead of, action figures, he asked for a Raspberry Pi for his birthday.
A specific one too, right? The Model 3B plus Chi.
That's the one. And he didn't just, look at it. He used this little microcomputer to teach himself Python.
And what did he build first? Something complex?
No, actually something very practical for a 7-year-old. He built little math games.
To help himself?
Yeah, just to learn his times tables. And this seems key. He showed it to his teacher.
Ah, the feedback loop.
Exactly. Her positive reaction, her genuine excitement, that was apparently a huge early motivator. It gave him that sort of validation,
What I find really interesting is that this technical focus wasn't just about computers initially. His curiosity was broader.
Absolutely. The sources mention him being fascinated by locks and alarm systems at age 5, trying to build his own.
Wow.
And then there was architecture. He'd go visit old buildings in London with his dad. He saw a connection there.
Between buildings and code?
Yeah, he felt the design principles, the structure, the sort of flow in architecture. It naturally led into thinking about computing, the underlying blueprint.
That's a fascinating link. Fusing that design thinking with the technical execution. It explains a lot. And he didn't just stop there, did he? He kept building.
Constantly. The sources mention a faux startup when he was 12. Then he got real-world experience.
At Hack Club?
Right. First as a community engineer, then moving into a role focused on storytelling where he actually designed and maintained their websites. He really emphasizes learning by doing.
Which ties right into his whole learning philosophy. He's quite open about not loving the traditional school system.
Yeah, he dislikes the memorization aspect. His method is pure hands-on. Find something you want to create, a game, a site, whatever.
You just dive in.
And in his words, won't stop until I've finished. It's that project-driven focus, even though he apparently saw himself as just an average student in school.
Which makes that anecdote about his homework even better.
Yeah.
Using an early AI model.
To pull info from Google Classroom to help automate his homework.
He called it a smart weighted sheet.
He did. But really, it was probably one of his first practical encounters with AI solving a real, if minor, problem for him, sort of a signpost.
Okay, so he's playing with language models for homework hacks. That hints at where things are going. How does this evolve into Beam, the actual company?
Well, Beam started just last December, and it began as, just another side project.
Why? What was the initial goal?
He didn't want to pay the subscription fee for ChatGPT, simple as that. So he figured, I'll build my own chat bot using the OpenAI API.
But then came the realization. The aha moment wasn't about the AI itself being amazing.
No, quite the opposite. It was about the interface being lacking. He realized the AI models, the LLMs, they could produce incredible stuff like PhD-level text.
But the way we interact is stuck in the past.
Exactly. He found out the standard chatbot interface we use today was basically created in 1988, which he calls, understandably, absurd for dealing with modern AI.
So the bottleneck isn't the engine, it's the dashboard. It's a design problem.
That's the core insight. And that must have been compelling. Beam's vision isn't just another chatbot. It aims to be a new kind of interface. Proactive.
Handling the routine stuff.
Right, the boring tasks, replying to emails, scheduling meetings, but using deep personal context so it just does it without constant back and forth prompting.
That's a significant shift from tool to actual assistant. So when did he know this side project was more?
The turning point seems to have been a demo he did. On a live stream, Andreas Clear's stream.
And the reaction?
Overwhelming. His inbox just blew up overnight, VCs, people desperate to try it out. He said he was getting like 5 or 6 emails a day.
Wow.
Some, he mentioned, were even quite threatening in their demand for access.
Sounds intense. How do you even process that kind of sudden, aggressive interest as a teenager?
It must have been incredibly stressful, but that intense demand was the signal. This wasn't just another project tinkering in his bedroom.
So that forced his hand.
It seems so. That's when he made the huge decision to leave his job at Hat Club, this was back in March, to go all in on Beam. And that led straight to the Silicon Valley jump.
And what a jump. $1 million on your 16th birthday. That's not your typical party gift.
No kidding. He apparently got the call confirming the $1 million from South Park Commons while he was just hanging out with his mom and their dog.
Surreal. But getting the money is one thing. Then came the massive life changes.
Huge changes. He decided to leave school. Before taking his GCSEs, his main high school exams, just postpone them.
That takes incredible conviction. Or maybe recklessness. But clearly, total belief in Beam.
100% conviction. And then the move. Just 3 months ago, in October, he relocates to San Francisco.
Which isn't easy, especially for a non-U.S. citizen who's still technically a minor. He needed a specific visa, right?
Yeah, the O1 visa, which, as he apparently noted, has the rather pompous title of being for foreigners with extraordinary ability.
Extraordinary ability. I mean, landing $1 before finishing school probably qualifies. But navigating that bureaucracy must have been tough. Did the sources say how he pulled that off?
They mention he got it, likely through the sheer momentum of Beam, the investment, and probably strong backing letters. It proves his work was seen as essential. He is still taking classes online, mind you. School hasn't been totally abandoned.
But the focus is clearly Beam. And he didn't just sit back and wait for the money to find him. He actively pursued it.
Oh yeah, he described his approach as maniacal. He was really driven. Early days, he was literally biking around London's Silicon Roundabout, pitching firms face-to-face.
So
Then switched to Zoom for the US VCs in New York and SF. And he wasn't static. He kept tweaking his pitch, his story, adapting constantly.
smart. And he wasn't doing it entirely alone. He had mentors.
Crucial support. The source's name, an ex-director of product management from Microsoft and the former COO of AutoTrader, a big UK company.
That's a powerful combination. Deep tech knowledge and large-scale operational experience.
Yes.
Invaluable guidance.
Definitely. It helps bridge that experience gap.
How did he deal with the age factor when he was in those pitch meetings? Investors can be skeptical.
He actually said the overall experience was mostly positive, that people generally wanted to help. But his core tactic with VCs, focus intensely on the product, prove the vision is so strong, so undeniable, that they're forced to, as he put it, take them out of the box that you're 16, make the age irrelevant.
And he even used his age creatively early on, didn't he, to get meetings?
Yeah, that's a great story. He said he used to just cold add meeting times onto the calendars of people he wanted to talk to, didn't even know them.
That's bold.
Right, and people would often actually show up, mostly out of sheer curiosity, like, who is this 15-year-old putting meetings on my calendar? It was a clever way to use that fascination to get a foot in the door.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit. What about back home? How did his family react when this side project suddenly became a very real, very serious Silicon Valley venture?
Well, his parents, his mom's in healthcare, his dad in marketing for startups, they'd always been supportive of his tinkering, his hobbies.
This was different.
Oh, yeah. His dad admitted to being nervous, understandably, seeing things accelerate so fast into something, quote, pretty serious. But ultimately, their feeling was...
They couldn't hold him back.
Exactly. They felt it would be wrong for us to stand in the way of such a huge opportunity. Support trumped the worry.
And the practicalities of running a startup from home. Before the move.
There's a funny detail the sources mention. He had to put this big red sign on his bedroom door.
And saying what?
Just on a call in big letters, because his parents kept accidentally walking in during important meetings.
That's brilliant. It perfectly captures the clash of worlds, right? High-stakes VC call potentially interrupted by, have you tidied your room? It keeps it grounded.
Totally. And the job itself, the role, changed fundamentally for him. Moving from just being a developer.
Being the founder. the boss.
It was a massive shift. He talked about going from quick 15-minute daily stand-ups to suddenly having several hours of meetings every day.
And the mindset change.
He said the biggest thing he had to unlearn was relying on others for direction or decisions. Now he's the one people rely on. That's a heavy shift in responsibility.
Especially at 16. He also seems quite aware of the dangers of startup culture, the burnout risk.
Yeah, he explicitly pushes back against that hustle culture myth, the idea you have to work 36 hours a day.
He prioritizes balance.
He emphasizes it, says balance is crucial to avoid burnout, to actually keep making progress long term. Making time for friends and family is a real priority for him.
Interesting you mentioned friends. Apparently his startup life and his social life were kept very separate for a while.
That's right. Most of his friends had no idea about the scale of Beam, the funding, any of it, until quite recently when interviews started coming out.
Why the secrecy?
He said he worried it might sound like he was showing off. He preferred to keep those two worlds separate, which is pretty understandable, really.
This all circles back to something fundamental for him. The value he places on side projects.
Absolutely key. It's woven through his entire story. He even said, professionally, he'd be more inclined to hire someone with a portfolio of side projects than someone with just a degree.
That's a strong statement.
It is. And personally, he believes side projects are what keep the passion going. They let you build skills without the pressure of a job, preventing things from just becoming about the paycheck. Keeps the curiosity alive.
So bringing this all together, for someone listening, inspired by this, maybe wanting to build something themselves, what's the core message, the final lesson from Toby Brown's journey so far?
I think his main advice boils down to conviction and, well, a kind of positive obsession. Don't stop. Believe 100% in what you're doing. Be, in his word, delusional, but in that infectious, positive way, totally absorbed by the problem you want to solve.
But not necessarily copying his path.
No, that's crucial. His number one piece of advice is actually to follow your own curiosity. Find your own new thing to build. Don't just try to replicate his steps.
That makes perfect sense.
Eh.
Connects right back to him at 7, asking for that Raspberry Pi. It wasn't about money or fame. It was about curiosity, the urge to make something.
And if you look at his bigger picture motivation, he said he was never drawn to the normal life path. University, then consultant, maybe a safe software engineering job at a huge company.
Why not?
Because, quite simply, it sounded so boring to him.
Which leaves a powerful question for you, the listener. If the well-trodden path feels boring, what different path could you forge? One driven purely by your own curiosity and determination to create something genuinely new, even if it means breaking some rules along the way. Thanks for diving deep with us today.